We'll start off with where you are now. Last year, decision to retire from football and take the next step. So, how's that sort of panned out for you so far?
Wasn't the original plan, but it all happened very quickly. I was, as you know, playing part time at Southport and coaching here for over a year, and then the first team went and got promoted. So then I had a decision to make at the start of the season, where it was either carry on playing and doing this pretty much on a part time basis, or whether it was stepping into it full time. So I just thought the transition, it was probably the right time, and I think I was ready for it.
Obviously, you said you weren't expecting to do it, but did you just feel like it was the right step for you?
Played for the last 18 years, 19 years, and I think at the time where I was playing at Southport, loving my football there, and then it got to a stage where I needed to make that next progression in my career. And I thought I really enjoyed the coaching side of it. I did enjoy still playing, but then you've got to make tough decisions sometimes. So it was just a decision I made. So starting from where I was in the academy, coming through the system, I think that's something I'm really keen on doing, trying to help develop youngsters, getting one in our first team, if not in our first team, making a career for themselves. I know it's tough. I just try and be as open and honest as possible, give them some of my stories, give them a little bit of reassurance of where I've come from. And if that 1% makes a difference to them, then that's everything, from a coaching point, that's all we want.
How much does it help that obviously you've been through that journey yourself? Obviously, started off at Oldham and then as a youngster went to Chelsea.
Yeah, it's different now. It's a lot different. Football's become, you've got to be careful with certain things you say. It was a lot, I think it was a lot more robust back in the day, but now it's pretty much very developing players, nurturing players, helping players. You're there to, give them all the tools they need, hopefully, to go and play in the first team. And that's what I try and do. Just, I got there through hard work, determination, high standards. Okay, I was technically decent, but I was always everything else. And I think the younger generation now, sometimes they don't have that. So it's just trying to get that culture and them high standards first and foremost, and then building on that.
Have you found it sort of strange adapting to how the modern game does work when it comes to coaching, or do you just sort of discover that as you went along in your career?
Towards the back 5, 6, 7 years in my career, was when I was at Fylde, when I was at Southport, I ended up being captain. So I think I found it a lot easier. I was always looking at the tactical side of things. I was always listening to information, whoever my coaches and my managers, was always taking ideas, because coaching was always something I thought I wanted to go into. It was my next step. I did my badges when I was 25, 26, 27. I'd done my air license when I was 27, early enough so that I knew when this opportunity come up, I'd be ready to take it.
How was it always going to be start of at Oldham for you? Obviously, played a lot of football there, started there. Was it always going to be the dream sort of starting point?
But you just never know, do you? You never know. But I was fortunate. Paul Murray, who was here at the time, he got in contact, and now Phil, our academy manager, invited me for a meeting. It was perfect for me. I was making a decision at the time whether to leave Fylde, who were full time, and go into part time football. And believe it or not, whilst I was making that decision, this opportunity come up for me, which was part time coaching. So the time inside of it couldn't have been any better. So I come spoke, did that with Nicky Adams for a year, who I got on really really well with, and then from there it's just gone from where it is now, and it's been a mad 2 years really, but something that I've really really enjoyed.
Was it strange at first walking back in a new position? Obviously, I've been used to being there so often throughout your career.
Yeah, a little bit was. I just love being around it. I love football side of it. I'm still around the lads. I still you know I want the relationship with the younger players where they can come and speak to me about anything. But then when we're training, they know that I'm demanding and that I'll always have high standards. The sessions are intense. That's what it's about. That's what it takes to get into the first team environment. So I want to be a little bit of both, be a good man management, but also demand a lot as well.
Do you sort of touch on your own career and watch the players, or do you sort of try to avoid that?
Try to avoid it. I think they're aware. They're aware. They will ask me questions now and again, but it's about they know kind of where I've been. So my role now is just to try and help, develop, nurture, and I give my honest opinion. So I'm the type of person where if people are performing really well, I tell them. If some lads are struggling, I put an arm around the shoulder and say, right, I might need a little bit of help, but that's just the way it is. And I think that coaching style now, especially with the younger lads, is really important.
Following your dad's footsteps, who did a similar role to you. So, how's sort of the game changed from when he was doing it and you was doing it? And yeah, has that been discussed?
A little bit, yeah. It's always, I think, because I've been brought up that way. My dad's, I I was too young to remember my dad playing. He retired, I think, when I was very young. I can't really remember much, but then my life and me growing up was my dad always academy manager and coaching. So that's what I always saw my dad as. So I think again, it was something I always thought, right, I want first and foremost, I want to be a footballer, and then when I finish football, I want to stay in it and I want to coach. I think that I speak to him about it. It's like I said, football's changed massively. It went from 4-4-2 and crosses in the box and long throws to Barcelona style, but I think now we're starting to see a lot of the old generation type play back in it. In the Premier League every week you see set pieces, Championship set pieces, at every level now set pieces and things like that are so important. So I think it's coming around full circle a little bit. What I would say is it's a lot more athletic now in terms of player profiling and things like every athletes on the football pitch, as well as good footballers as well. I think that's changed a lot over the last couple of years.
Mine, was it always obviously in your dad? Was it always the natural path thinking, oh, you become a footballer and then you become a coach?
I think so, but I've always been quite hardworking. I've always wanted to get better at something. And to be honest with you, I don't know what else I'd do. I've been involved in football for that long that I've become quite obsessed with it. Now I don't miss the 10K runs and things like that. I'll tell you that. I can now tell people to do that. So it's from that aspect, it's quite enjoyable. However, I do keep myself fit, and I do, if there's a passing drill or if there's a bit of a technical drill, I'll join in and have a laugh with the lads. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you enjoy pre-season a lot more as a coach than you did as a player.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I don't miss, the pre-season. Well, saying that, I did the pre-season this year at Southport, and then after pre-season, I made the decision to pretty much stop. So I've not had a proper one yet where I've missed. So it'll be my first one in the summer.
You must have been kicking yourself, went through all that just to then.
I'm glad I did, because if I hadn't done anything, I haven't done much over the last couple of months. So I do tend to go in the gym a couple of times a week, but moving forward, I will be probably doing a half marathon or marathon. So there's a goal there for me to keep fit as well.
We'll touch on obviously your playing career and the time you spent with Blackpool. So you was at the club at a tough time. So what was it like for you during that period?
Yeah, it was fans and everything like that. There was boycotts. It was difficult, but you know what? It was still a very good club. Blackpool's a massive club, whether the fans are in there or not. It had its own problems, but I really enjoyed my time there. First year, unfortunately, we went down, but then the second year, when Gary Bowyer come in, we went straight back up. So we kind of fueled that to our advantage and basically said there's nothing to lose. No one was really expecting us to do well. So we used that as a little bit of motivation to actually prove people wrong. And I think having that inner belief in a circle in the dressing room got us there in the end.
How important was Gary Bowyer? What kind of leader was he behind the scenes?
Yeah, he was brilliant. He come into the club at a difficult time, which everyone knows about. It's not easy, but for what we did, getting promoted, looking at some of them players that were in that team now who've gone on to be really successful, like Bright Say Samuel, Brad Potts, Cullen, who was unbelievable in the playoffs that season for us. That group was a really, really good group, really together group. I think what Gary did really, really well is unify us all as a group of people and really believe that we could achieve something. And that obviously in the end it paid off.
Did it feel wasted in some ways just how good that group was, but obviously the fans were in the home games to see it?
It was difficult in it because fans pay money to come and watch us. I'm sure some will have been there, some will have been watching from afar, some will have been watching on TV. It was at times, but people had the right best interests at heart. It was about the football club, wasn't it? We just stayed away from that. So one thing we did was we couldn't get involved in any of that. We weren't in control of anything that surrounded the football side of the game. So when it comes to fans or what was going on in the club, we had to try and block that out and concentrate on what we could control, and that was football on the pitch on a Saturday or a Tuesday evening. And I think that's what we did really, really well. whether there was 20,000 there, 5,000 there, if there was nobody there, it was still a game of football. And the mentality we had was, right, we're paid to go and we'll try and win football games and give everything we can for the football club. So that's what I thought we did really, really well. Everyone's going through that tough moment together. We wanted to give, the fans a bit of hope that, yeah, we can compete in the league, we can do well, we can go up, because we come from nowhere. I think we were probably the last 10 games of the season, if I remember correctly, we were nowhere near playoffs. Now I think we won 7 or 8 and we got in the playoffs on the last game, and then we ended up going up, didn't we? So even though there were them tough times, like I said to you, we just tried to, we pretty much had nothing to do with that. We were just there to represent the football club, play for each other, play as a team, and then at the end of it, a bit of success was a great story.
Was it a strange thing going from Oldham, which is obviously your club, and obviously you'd have had that connection with the fans there, to then obviously having 2 years at Blackpool where you won't have had the same thing?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy time. I was coming to Blackpool, then I wasn't, and then it was back on again. I'd loved my time at Oldham. Obviously, it was a club where I grew up through the academy, come back, went again, and now I'm back again. So it's pretty much third time. But you know what football's like. You can never predict what's going to happen. When there's a saying, it's football, that's what it's like. Sometimes you've got to make tough decisions. It was right for the football club at the time, because again, at Oldham, they were struggling financially at the time. So it's something I needed to do, and I felt it was the right decision.
Every player sort of dreams of getting to Wembley and winning at Wembley. Of course, you missed that game. So how hard was that for you to be on the sidelines?
That was difficult, yeah. But again, like I said to you, we had a group there where it was one in all in. Surround yourself with obviously people that want to be on the same mission as us. So whoever was playing and whoever wasn't was didn't really matter. There was one goal. I was always the type of person to be positive around other people, whether I was playing or not. I think that's why I went on in the career to play quite a lot of games, because I've become trustworthy to a lot of coaches and managers. They knew what they were getting out of me. And then if there was ever a time that I wasn't playing, I'd just accept it and get around whoever was in front of me, try and help them as much as possible. That game in particular was a bit gutting for me, because I wanted to be involved. I think I'd played, I'm not sure, you probably got the stats, maybe 20 odd appearances that season for Blackpool. So I still felt as though I'd played quite a big part. Started on fire and then I got injured, I think, first or second game of the season. I think it was against Carlisle at home. Or not, it was my return against Exeter at home, actually. Before we played, I did my ankle quite bad. So I ended up missing, I think, 3 months of the season. So that killed me a little bit, because I'd had a very good pre-season. But my goal then going from there was, I want to play at Wembley. And luckily, there was another 2 opportunities later in my career where I got to play and start in both them games. Listen, everybody wants to play there, don't they? I've been fortunate. Or when I was younger at Sheffield United, I was involved on the bench there. Didn't play. We got beat off Huddersfield in the playoff semi-final. In the playoff final there, that was a killer for the club. But again, then my goal was, right, next time I come here, I want to play. Then it was with Blackpool. Unfortunately, it was similar. But then that was a drive to do well. So then when I went to Fylde, it was pretty much back to back. Then we did the playoff final against Salford, which we lost. And then the week after, it was in the FA Trophy against Leyton Orient, which we won. So I eventually got there in the end.
Was it Dave Challinor who was manager back then at Fylde, who's obviously gone on to do great things with Stockport? So could you always tell he would always sort of break into the EFL in that way?
Brilliant coach. Very, very good. We were, when he had us at Fylde, the season we got beat off Salford in the playoffs, we were very, very strong. And Charlie's way he coached us, the way he had us set up, the different dynamics of our team, we were really, really strong. So it was a matter of time before he went on to bigger and better things. His record speaks for himself. When he was at Fylde, I think I don't know what league he started in, but he promotion after promotion after promotion. Then he went to Hartlepool, promoted. Then he went to Stockport, double promotion. So when you've got a record like that, you're doing something right. And I'm in no doubt he's got a bright future ahead of him still.
Tap into obviously coaches like that, what you learned off him and other people in the game, and put it into obviously the work you're doing now.
100%, yeah. Like I say, I'm at the start of my journey now. So where I want to be in 20 years is, who knows where I'll be, but I'm always learning. I'm always striving to be better. I'm still in contact with certain people that I've worked with in the past. I will over the next few years try, go in and watch them do a little bit more coaching. when I get a little bit of time, because it's been non-stop for the last year and a half or so. Uh, but yeah, 100%. The way I coach, my ideas, the way probably I handle players in terms of communicating and talking and wanting to be there for them. I take on board the coaches that have been brilliant for me.
What do you want to achieve in your coaching career? Do you want to stay working with sort of youth teams, or do you want to make that step up to first team working as a manager one day?
No, I think what I'm doing now, I'm really happy with. I think you can't predict where you're going to be in 10 years' time because you never know, because opportunities come up here and there. But yeah, I really like the development side of things. So helping lads. I've been through it myself, so I know how tough it is to get in the first team now. So I really like this side of it. So I'm really keen, obviously, at the minute to stay where I am, around good people at a very good football club. We've got great people around from top to bottom. It's a club that's going on the up. And like I say, my job is to try and develop these young lads to see if we can get some in our first team. And I'm very much happy to do that for however long that's going to take me.